Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 112th edition of Cinema Effect. Is that right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm Zach. Says it above the recording.
I can't say it.
Oh.
I can't say it.
Oh.
I'm Zach, and I'm joined by my fellow Hans Zimmer appreciator, Jayden.
Hello.
And this is so weird. And we've also got over here, we got ASMR enthusiast, Liam, aka Fitzy.
Hello. Hi.
Just by the way, Liam, I just need to tell you, right? It's my worst nightmare, but I also have just come to appreciate's the wrong word. No, I hate it. But like every week when you say hello, like your hello is hello, you know, and it's just like the like has to bring in the mic an extra 2 centimeters and then move it back, and then it's fine, and then you settle in, you know.
All right, that's funny.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna do it like more now, like on purpose.
Oh my god! Yeah, you just start going hello like that. I hope that didn't sound too terrible. Oh man! All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. And this week, that movie is Alien Covenant. We did it. Woo! It opened in the US on the 19th of May 2017. It was directed by Ridley Scott. It is a sci-fi horror film, and the synopsis says, the crew of a colony ship bound for a remote planet discover an uncharted paradise with a threat beyond their imagination and must attempt a harrowing escape. Oh, wow. Oh my God. This is the end of this franchise until we get the Hulu one, which I can't wait for. Jayden, Alien Covenant, what were your thoughts? How many times have you seen this one?
This is only my second time watching it, actually. Yeah. But I really love it. This is my favorite outside the original. I don't think I had the same affinity for it on this watch that I did at the first watch, but I still definitely, enjoyed it way more than all the other films that have come before it. I think it's fantastic. Like genuinely, it's because it takes elements of all the other aliens, but it's still something new. I feel personally. I love the things they do with the aliens. I love the things that they have. I love the dynamic of the 8 couples and what that does for the, story. I really love this film.
Awesome. Fitzy, what about you, brother?
Yeah, it's actually really good. It feels like a great mix of Prometheus and the original Alien, especially like in the soundtrack. I was like really surprised how much they used just like the Prometheus themes, like the themes from the original. But yeah, I don't know. I was like engaged throughout, which I was surprised by because I can't really remember my first viewing, but it was kind of middling. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a good movie.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I liked it. I think this franchise just really struggles to break the mold in any significant way, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. I feel like I end up always, it's the same sort of trap as Prometheus. I think this is a better movie than Prometheus, but it's the same sort of thing where like the setup and the first act is like really captivating to me. And then it sort of just turns into like what you'd expect. And it's like, okay, it's fine. And it's well done in a lot of places, but I'm not optimistic it'll ever happen for me, but I'm just sort of still waiting for this franchise to really surprise me. But that's okay. That's okay. I liked it. It was pretty good. In terms of, it's tricky. I mean, it probably is my second favorite. I don't know. It's hard. It's like, to me, it's Alien and then like, I don't know, then like a steep cliff. And then we get to like this movie and Aliens sort of territory for me. And then, I don't know, it's sort of all muddled from there, I guess. But I'll tell you what did surprise me about this movie. I didn't expect this to be like not a direct, but in very much a sequel to Prometheus, which was cool. It was cool for the first time in this franchise to really have, I don't know, characters cross over that feels important, and it's like you're still, as you're watching it, you're waiting for reveals about what happened to Elizabeth Shaw and, 20 years on and the ships and how they escaped to that, whatever that planet was in the last movie. Like,
10
that
years.
was all good. It's been 10, not 20?
I think it's been 10.
Oh, I thought they said 20. My fault. Okay. Well, it doesn't really change it that much, I guess. David had enough time to become a zoologist or whatever. So that was cool. So like all that stuff I really liked. As it's much better than just the the first 4 films having just goddamn Ripley turn up every time and do the same thing. Like, this feels like a continuation in the way I would want. So yeah, that was cool. Like, having David turn up in the movie was awesome. I didn't see that coming, and I probably should have, but I thought it was really cool. And speaking of really cool, like, I just really liked the opening scene with Guy Pearce, and he's not caked in makeup this time. You can actually recognize him as Guy Pearce, which was cool. So that's sort of setting the scene for David's role in the film, how he turns up later and stuff, was neat. And then sort of with that, it then subverted me with just us. I mean, Michael Fassbender's, like, I can't speak highly enough, but then like the subversion of getting David in the first scene, getting this new android Walter, who was awesome as well, and then like them two like playing off each other throughout the whole thing was like really, really, really fun. So that was probably my highlight of the movie, I think. Would you agree with that, Fitzy? If you had to, can you choose a favorite between Walter and David? I don't know.
Between Walter and David, I don't know. But what I was gonna say in terms of favorites, like I did really enjoy like the first 40 or 50 minutes, just like landing on the planet and stuff, and like the actual horror and like the actual jump scares and the just like the sickness that they get as well, like the actual thing that gets in their bodies and they become all pale and stuff. And yeah, like they don't birth like the xenomorph, but they birth like
Neomorph.
Neomorph.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, okay. It's called that. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, I like all that, and then the movie kind of slows down. I was like kind of like disengaged for a bit, but then like David and Walter, that dynamic comes into it, and then it's kind of interesting again. Yeah, I feel like I like it a lot in this movie, like that, but also I just like the just the alien of this movie, like the horror, just the actual tension and stuff. So,
dude, Michael Fassbender literally carries this movie. Every time he acts against himself, it's like by far the most engaged I am in the entire thing. It's like huge credit to him. He's great. I love Walter's. I mean, I love both their accents. I love the contrast in their accents. Like, Walter's very specific, sort of. I don't know. He sounds like what does he sound like? He sounds like Nick Offerman to me. You know Nick Offerman, that guy who's in
the mustache.
Yeah. He sounds like what's his name? Ron Swanson or whatever.
Yeah.
He sounds like him to me, and he sounds. But I love that. And then of course like the contrast with David's, all uptight British stuff. Like, I love that. It's so good. I mean, those scenes where Michael is acting against himself are really well done, right? Like, I really enjoyed that. Fitzy, you made a point I liked that I was going to take somewhere.
Did I?
God damn.
Sorry.
Oh, the horror elements, of course. Jayden, dude, how gruesome was that? The whole first birthing scene out of the spine. That's got to be top tier, right?
Yeah, I love it. I think the gore in this one is probably like the best it's been in the series. Just because, more advancements, and also you just, feel like that I feel like it's just, a bit better than everything that's come before it, despite, age or whatever. But yeah, like that spine breaking scene, and like even like the way like the second alien just like pops out his throat, and like later on like towards the end of the shower, and like the way like that just like, and like the way like the alien just straight up just rips off like heads and shit like that. It's like,
oh yeah, he just ate those guys half his face.
Yeah, like it's a good bit of gore and body horror,
Yeah, big time. Is that's a highlight for you, Fitzy, as well? What about how ruthless that baby one was? Oh my god, that thing was gnarly.
Just the name, like the little Neomorph thing that Jayden was.
Yeah, well, what about it, dude? He was a threat. Or
Oh
she,
yeah,
I don't
like
know.
on the ship. Yeah, that was good.
That was probably my favorite action / horror scene in the movie. The one where like his first birth there, and like the other woman comes in with the shotgun. That was all really good. That was all really well staged, I think. Like when she slips, shoots the smoke, she then crawls out, her foot gets jammed in the door. Like that's all really tense stuff that wasn't frustrating, you know? And then the ship blew up and they were majorly fucked. But do you guys know where I was so impressed by like the initial, like Fitzy said, the initial landing on the planet. And then just like I could sort of just watch a movie of them just like scouting out that planet. Because I was so impressed with the look of the planet and just like seeing, I feel like for the real first time in this movie, like in this series, like them exploring an uncharted world for the first time and going through like the ancient remnants of artifacts and stuff. Like that was all really cool. I don't know where they shot that.
New Zealand.
But it felt, they shoot it in New Zealand?
I know. I'm pretty sure they actually filmed some of it in Australia as well. I think I'm pretty sure they filmed at Fox Studios in Sydney. But like that mountain range that you see, like as they're flying in, is New Zealand for sure.
Oh, it's amazing! Oh my god, that was my favorite part of the movie. Like all the establishing shots and aerial photography, and just as they're like every moment they're sort of just walking past the lakes and the fields. It all feels really on location. It feels really good, like top tier movie production budget stuff. It was really nice. Looked amazing. And then and then Michael Fassbender, hooded savior. David comes into it. I don't know if you can you take yourself back to the first time that you watched it? Were you surprised that David was in this movie?
I don't think so.
It wasn't like in the trailers or something, you know.
I don't think I watched trailers. I think Alien Covenant was like, I don't know. I think I just watched Covenant because it was like straight out the doors of like me binging the other 5. In preparation for 6 actually, so like I didn't really know what I was expecting or what, but I don't think David showing up was a shock.
Yeah I'm not going to go watch them, but I hope the trailers didn't spoil that because I thought it was neat. I thought it was cool when he turned up. At first I thought it was Shaw. That would have been cool too, but you know, it's fine. I don't know, like the whole thing with David in this movie and him being like the real antagonist was cool because I like Michael Fassbender and I like his portrayal of the character. But I feel like I'm missing something with it and the motivation because I just don't. I feel like it's a lot of bravado, which is entertaining, but I don't really understand. Is he just trying to play God and create a new species, right? Like, is that literally it?
Yeah, at its core, I guess. But it's kind of this strive for, like they address it in like the opening scene, and like they kind of reference his programming is kind of trying to build something perfect, and that's why like each time, like all the androids, I think like have commented about the perfect organism, but like you know, David more than any other kind of seems to like be trying to craft that and trying to like you know get that.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I just love the touch that like David's all into art and stuff and how that contrasts with Walter, and they talk about that, about how like Walter's a more advanced model and they deliberately made him more sort of robotic and sort of have less personality and desire and that sort of stuff. Like I thought that was a really cool touch. But I don't know, like for me, I mean, first of all, I was confused by the whole David when he like the flashback when he turned up and like killed all the engineers. I didn't really understand what was happening, to be honest. So he bombed them with that plague shit, right? And I just don't like. Was that an accident?
No.
He went. Was Shaw alive at that point? You know what I mean? I don't. Like, did they go there with the intention of doing that? Because Shaw was buried on the planet, so I assume she was alive at the arrival.
I can't remember if it's like direct lines, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, and the John Denver song is her distress signal.
Yeah, but she was singing that just on the ship and not necessarily when they landed.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because I think he says that she died in like in the release of the plague, right? Is that what he said?
David kills Shaw.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, that's right. He did say that.
He experiments on Shaw for to try and create an organism.
That's messed up.
Okay. And I think there's like one of those shorts that was in between Prometheus and Covenant that shows David like killing Shaw or like putting her to like sleep or whatever.
That's cool.
But yeah, I don't know why exactly he killed all those guys, all those Charlie Scanlan folk. Yeah.
What?
The Scanlans.
Is that what it's called?
No, Charlie Scanlan.
Because we said last time that the engineers kind of looked like him because like they're all built.
Oh, sorry. Yes, that was. I forgot the reference a month ago. Yeah. Yeah, that is funny though. I appreciate you. That's good.
It's interesting that like these people they looked like the engineers, but they didn't look like identical to them. It seems like the engineers were like actual like military people, whereas these ones were just like warshippers and like civilians.
They don't hit the gym as often. They're sort of they got to work jobs and shit. As opposed to these military dudes. Yeah, that's a good point actually. I mean, it was cool seeing them again. I was just I feel like the movie. It was probably partly my fault. The movie sort of just lost something on me there to where at the end, like the final reveal of David, like now sabotaging the ship with his species creation thing, like that was cool. But I was sort of just I the whole time, and then with the flashback, I sort of just kept thinking there must be more to this that I'm not understanding. But I don't know. Like I guess it is sort of just what it seems, I don't know. I feel like it sort of presents, especially in that first scene, like it's going to play with some really interesting themes in it, and it sort of does, but never really goes all the way for me,
Actually, I think he just needs like a habitable planet, right? So he just has to kill them to get them like out of the way. Because like the planet that they're on is like perfect for like life. It's like 0.95 G and like water and all that. So right. I think he just wants to own the planet, pretty much.
So by the time, he's going there, but with the intention, like at that point, he's already like wanting to experiment and make species and stuff. Because that was never a part of his character, to my recollection, in Prometheus. So
it kind of was, you see, because like he poisoned the like Shaw's husband, and like you kind of see his fascination with the vial, like with the vase.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I think it was always there.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I sort of just, it was sort of just lost on me, like if this was his plan all along, like from Prometheus, or if like he turned at some point, and if he turned when. But yeah, because if he went there with the intention of just taking the planet for himself, then he's clearly evil before he even arrives. Whereas sort of I got the impression from the film at first that he sort of went mad, not mad, he's, you know what I mean, but he sort of, his intentions developed to want to create the Xenomorph while he was there stranded.
Kind of with going mad is something like Walter hints at him going mad, where like he talks about like, if one note ruins a symphony or whatever the fuck he says, like implying that David's developed like a slight like fault. So like he is going mad as well, which is probably kind of driving his fascination further.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
And also just another thing I just remember I read, these aren't like, because like I like mentioning that these people didn't look exactly like the engineers. There's an idea that these aren't the engineers, but another like test planet, like the way that Earth was for them. And because like that's why you see like this kind of, vernacular kind of society where it's like really primitive compared to like, like the advanced technology, is because they're another planet in development, and like they're gonna get, So yeah, I thought that was really cool too.
That is cool. I feel like the design of the planet sort of supports that. Like it didn't really that city or whatever it was didn't really feel like the most what you'd picture like the engineers like home world being, or something like that. Like it felt a bit fledgling in that sense. Yeah. I mean, I love the design of it. I love the design of all the like the CG and the stuff they do with the set, but mainly like the production design also of goddamn not Walter, David's lair was really cool. Him having all the statues and he's like sort of mad scientist vibes. I liked it a lot.
Oh, I was just saying, like, he does feel a bit different from Prometheus David. Yeah, he feels like he's changed a bit.
He lost his blonde hair.
It feels very Frankenstein-y, and like He's trying to, counter God and divine nature and build a new being, and it's
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it feels like. You're absolutely right. I love his line where he asks Walter, "This is where you have to choose: will you serve in heaven or reign in hell?" It's a good line. And I don't know if he'll let Walter make the choice because he presumably just killed him. So I don't know about that. My favorite part was when. Yeah. My favorite part was when Michael Fassbender kissed himself in the movie. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, was that a stunt double, like the back of his head? Is that what it was? Is that what it would have been? Right?
No, it's not, because you can tell that they don't touch.
Okay.
When he leans in, they don't touch.
I wasn't inspecting it closely enough, I guess, but yeah.
It was good. Like, it was well done,
okay.
but they don't, like, he leans in really slowly, and they sort of have the fake shadow over him, and they just sort of have a sound effect where he goes, like, there's no contact. So anyway, yeah, that was good. I should make a video essay breaking down the kissing scene. But in all seriousness though, like, every time, like, when they were having the conversation and the two characters were acting like against each other, it's so easy just to go shot, reverse shot, and that's so easy to disguise everything. But they had the balls, so there was like a minute where they were both in frame at the same time, and the camera was moving as well. Like, it was shifting across from one side to the other. That's difficult. I appreciate they took the hard road with that one. It paid off. It was good. Yeah. And then, this movie it's not that eventful, is it? I guess.
No, it's something I realized is that everything happens a lot faster than I thought. Like, I think it's only like a 2-hour film.
Yeah.
But like I paused it about halfway through and I didn't even realize it was that far in. Because I thought it was like still in the first like opening half hour, because I just from recollection I just thought, like, everything was like a bit more paced, and a bit like, not necessarily in a better way or anything, but like, just it felt in my mind as a kind of more spaced out journey. But yeah, everything kind of just happens from kickoff. I didn't, yeah. Yeah, no,
you're totally right. It was. Because, like, thinking about it, we can get into the crew as well, but outside of that, like, in terms of the core events of the film, like, really, it's only, like, the final sequence where they realize the Xenomorphs are still on the ship with them that was left. One of you guys mentioned the shower sequence earlier, which was good. But, I don't know. This is the part of where it's like Alien can't get out of its own way, in my opinion. Like, it's just... the part where the Xenomorph's still on the ship and we have to suck it out into space again. It's like, all right, I don't know. It's like, it's fine. To me, like, this whole aspect of the film, like, this 10 minutes just really lacked tension. I thought it was not tense at all. Something in the way, we talk about the first Alien, how, the isolation of Ripley and the lighting and the score and the sound design, it's all amazing. In this film, like, it feels sort of trivial in the execution, where, like, what's her goddamn name? Catherine Waterston. That's her name, right? The actress who plays Daniels. Like, she, like, the whole thing is that she's sort of just, she's, like, pretty obviously freaked out, but she's sort of just like, all right, so Walter, now let's just, like, manipulate all the doors on the ship so we just, like, get it sucked out into space. It's like, okay, now shut this door. Now shut this door. It just felt like, I don't know, it felt like a video game puzzle where, like, I feel like I'm the player and I'm like, okay, so if I shut this door here, and then the alien will walk through there, and then shut the door behind it, and then that'll let it down this tunnel. Like, it just felt like the whole thing was just not that intense, and I was just sort of watching that slowly play out before my eyes, before the inevitable sucking out into space. So,
yeah, I don't feel like that was really like, like it's the final big set piece, but I don't think it's really like the high note where the movie's meant to end. Like I feel like the high note it ends on is meant to be the David reveal, although the David reveal is kind of easy to see as well.
Yeah,
like I think the movie is willing to forgo some, not necessarily quality, but I guess quality, I'll say for lack of a better word, in that kind of alien sequence, because they know it's something we've seen before, and they know that the audience expects that this is going to end this way. So I think, but
they have one last trick up their sleeve. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I was surprised that both of them, like both Daniels and Tennessee, survived. I thought, true alien style, only one of them would live, but well done. So yeah, about that David reveal, it was. I mean, I liked it because, like, I saw it coming, but like it did enough to make me doubt it. Like it wasn't like so obvious that it was painful. Like it was. I suspected the second he walked back into the ship. Like I thought there were a few quite well directed moments where he's like Walter was acting a bit off as he sort of stepped back into the shuttle. And he started like healing that guy's face. Like there's a little something you sense there. So then from that point, I'm like, okay, yeah. But then it sort of went on long enough, especially when he was helping them from the control room in the final sequence, to where I thought, oh, maybe I started doubting myself. I was like, maybe not. So, I mean, that's a sign of a pretty well done twist.
Well, I was like disappointed. So like they said there was like a unknown life form on the ship. I thought, oh, it's going to be, because I totally forgot about the ending. So I thought that was hinting at David. Like the ship was saying that David was on the ship instead of Walter. But then, I was kind of disappointed when it was a xenomorph and they had the whole...
It's not a xenomorph.
Oh, it's not?
It's a PRAETOmorph, actually.
Actually.
Sorry, Jayden. But yeah, like the scene beforehand where she like uses the crane to like squish the xenomorph, that was pretty great. So I thought that was like the ending.
Yeah.
So I do agree with you on that. But like the ending is just cool. How like David gets everything he wants, because he gets like all the life, basically. Like, he gets all the life, the people in the little cells and the little boxes and everything, There's like 2,000 life forms on board. So like when that song plays, like the God's entry into Valhalla, that's like his heaven.
Yeah.
That was neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. Hey Google, play this sick song. It was great. It was cool. Yeah. I mean, that would have been... That's a great... Yeah, I understand being disappointed at that. Can you imagine if the ending was like, there's an unidentified life form on the ship and it's David, and then he just becomes like a killing machine? Like,
just alien isolation,
Should have done that, yeah.
Is that what happens? Are there killer androids in Alien Isolation?
Yeah, aren't the androids like the kind of like, like the villains outside the main alien?
I couldn't tell you. That's cool though.
Pretty sure like the androids try and kill you and shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh no, I agree with you, because the crane sequence, it's obviously not the same alien because it got crushed by the crane thing, but that whole thing on the outside of the ship was well shot. It was good. Having Daniels sort of have a hero moment on the outside of the ship as it was taking off, like that was all. I really liked that, and yeah, I totally agree. I would have been totally happy with that being sort of the resolution to the Xenomorph side of things. And then on the ship, it's all, God damn it, Jayden. And then back on the ship, we deal with David exclusively. Yeah.
Well, how would you have wanted it to resolve, with David dying then, or with Walter dying, the crew dying, everything going wrong?
David just kills everyone. Kills the crew.
Yeah, it's tricky, Jayden. If you pay me $500,000 to write a script, I might.
Yeah.
no, but yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, I feel like I could have David kill them and I'd be fine with that. But at the same time, then you miss out on having the cool moment where she's going back into hypersleep and she realizes and she's like, David. And then, yeah, that was good. So you'd miss out on having that, I guess.
I was having a bit of a look. But like, it's like this movie, it adds on to Prometheus about like exploring like the origins of the alien and how like you kind of see the primitive forms, and in this one you see the neomorph, which is close to the original alien, and then you see the PRAETOmorph, which it looks exactly like the xenomorph to us.
Oh yeah.
But like there are design differences, like it's less tubey and shit like that. Okay. But like I was reading, like I think Ridley Scott said in an interview, and like it's also like kind of speculated that it's like what the implication with this movie is that David is the creator of the aliens, right? He's experimenting and he keeps on evolving the alien life form to get it to the perfect thing. And he's getting closer and closer to that xenomorph thing. But that contradicts what we know about, the alien queen, right? But what Scott has said and what people are kind of guessing at is that because this is not yet the xenomorph we know, is that what's going to happen is that David is going to experiment on Daniels. So he always needed Daniels alive to be the alien queen, you know?
Oh, whoa. Holy shit.
So because of that, I think the ending of having both of them alive and even having Tennessee alive as an additional experiment, you know, is
right. Yeah. Actually, I was wondering, like, why doesn't David just sabotage the doors when he did? And I was thinking, well, he needs to like have as much life as possible. That's like his main goal. Yeah.
David's messed up, man.
But
so did he create the? Sorry, Jay. Did he create the face hugger eggs?
Yeah.
So he like engineered those.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Sorry, please continue.
I was gonna say, like, we don't. How much do we know about the Hulu one coming? Right? Because like we don't. Because I don't. That's not a sequel to these, is it? It's something else, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. There was a sequel to this in development called Alien Awakening.
Yeah.
I don't think that's this though.
No.
I think that's got shelved. But yeah, I don't know.
Which is unfortunate because this is what I want to see finished. You know, this kind of birth of like the aliens is what I find the most interesting in this universe. You know, if you just put me on another, you know, lunar base and just another alien type of thing.
Oh my god!
I'm not overly keen on it, you know, but
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's just hey guys, we've got a new crew and a new ship, I'll be like, I'm gonna friggin' I'm gonna boycott this shit, bro.
Well, another thing I saw is that like each film explores like a different set of characters, like a different set of like the way like they experiment. Like you start off with like, you know, just a bunch of maintenance workers or whatever they are, you know, fucking, you know, truckies essentially. But then you get the military,
sure.
And then you get a bunch of prisoners, and then you get assassins, and then you get scientists, and now you get archaeologists, and now you get scientists and stuff like that. So like, you know, I guess like the only way the series keeps itself fresh is like it keeps on giving you a new group of like people. So like
podcasters,
yeah, influencers, yeah.
Dude, I really want. What are that? I really want to see how the Kardashians deal with the alien. I really want to see how a group of KFC workers, like, you just keep going, dude. Podcasters. Oh, you know, like those YouTube mansions where all like the YouTubers live together in their houses.
Oh yeah.
I want to see what a group of them do on a spaceship with a Xenomorph. Oh man, that's good. Speaking of the crew.
Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
I was going to say, like, what else might be interesting is, like, kind of that original idea from, like, the first... Hold on. Yeah, from, like, the first few is, like, about, like, bringing the alien back to Earth and just seeing an alien on Earth, maybe, is kind of... would be interesting.
Yeah.
Like, Alien vs. Predator kind of deals with it in a contained setting and, like, with the Predator as like, kind of a rivalry, but, like, you know, an alien on Earth by itself would be interesting.
Is Alien vs. Predator canon?
I don't know, actually.
Is there anything in them that would suggest that they can't be?
Well, it's interesting because in the past, the aliens in Alien vs. Predator have like grown a lot quicker than canon aliens. But then this movie kind of features aliens that kind of develop at that accelerated phase because they're earlier versions of the Xenomorph. So I guess that kind of fills in that kind of gap if you were to complain about that.
Yeah.
I don't really recall any other. No. I don't know. Like, I don't know why they wouldn't be canon other than just studios saying it to distance themselves from the film. Because even in Predator 2, there's an alien skull on the wall. I'm pretty sure. So like, aliens and predators do canonically exist in the same universe. But yeah.
Wow. Okay. Shit. Should we have added those to this review?
I mean,
I said it all. Yeah.
Sorry, Arnold Schwarzenegger exists in the alien universe. Right?
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you know his character's name? Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Plays himself, yeah.
He should. So I guess the main thing we haven't talked about is the dynamic between the crew. Again, I still think we should like do a full ranking of like every crew, you know? But I liked the performances. Also, their role in the story was fine. It was sort of just what it always is. But like the performances I thought were really strong. I really like that the captain guy, Aurum. I see him in a bunch of stuff. He's always really, I think he's got great screen presence. I really like him always. Same goes for, who's that lady who's, she's like sort of with him at the start. Like she has that conversation with him.
His wife.
She's in True Detective. Is that his wife?
Mm-hmm.
And she ends up getting killed by she's locked in the room with the baby one. Yeah. She's really good too. I like her. She's in True Detective. So there's like all these really strong supporting performances, I think. Catherine Waterston's fine. I don't know. She just feels like, she sort of just felt like, I mean, no disrespect to her, but it sort of just feels like give this woman a short haircut and she's Ripley, you know? It's like...
it's, her haircut's based on the Ezra Miller's haircut in Fantastic Beasts.
Wait, what? For real?
Yeah, because she was doing her audition tape between takes of Fantastic Beasts, and she was like, "Hey, give me that wig for a second to Ezra Miller," because like he was helping her film, and she chucked it on, and like they based like her haircut in this film on that wig.
Oh my god! Well, that's a great piece of trivia. I'm so glad. Oh man, yeah. I don't know. She was okay. Did you guys have any thoughts on any of those people or anyone else?
Wasn't a massive fan of Danny McBride.
Who's he?
Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was a bit annoying with his, we need to get closer and we can save them type thing. And like, just...
Yeah, that's such a bad decision. I mean, it worked out okay, I guess, but...
Yeah. Had it not worked out, it would have been worse. But yeah, it's all right in the end.
It was like the wording of the computer was like, if you do this, there will be critical issues with this ship. Like, and this, see, it wasn't even like, oh, this is risky. It's like, there will be critical. It's like, bro, don't do that, Pat. I know.
Wow.
My main thing with him, to be honest, was I didn't dislike him, but my main thing with him was like, I really didn't need him to wear the hat, you know?
He's from Tennessee because he's Tennessee.
Yeah, exactly. It's too much. Ridley Scott, we don't need him out on the nose.
Wasn't it the issue that the ship would exceed the risk threshold when he was like going into the storm? So like there wouldn't necessarily be critical issues, I
swear to God it says multiple times critical failure.
Yeah, I think it does.
Because no, it said multiple times it would exceed the risk like limit, like threshold, But
that's when he goes within like 80 Ks, because then he goes within 40 Ks of the storm, doesn't he? And like that's when they're like, don't do that. Right?
Yeah, because he goes into it and then he does go further again. Like it warns him again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's saying if you go further than 80 kilometers, you're like exceeding the limit of the ship that you're supposed to take like legally, like for risk,
Legally.
Yeah, well that's what's
company policy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's applied, yeah.
I don't know, rewind the tape. I don't know. I feel like Siri was pretty clear. But I don't know.
Mother, man.
Mother, that's right. That's good.
Was it was Mother in the first Alien film as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was no voice, right? It was just typed. They just they went into the little room.
The computer, yeah.
That's cool. Any thoughts on the score?
I quite like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's got a good mix of like Goldsmith's original and like also just new stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, it was my second favorite in the franchise, I think, for sure. Like I liked the touch of having like that theme from Prometheus Return and have it sort of a motif for sure. And then it was kind of weird, but I liked it when like David just literally started like playing it diegetically.
Yeah, that was good.
That was kind of weird, but I liked it.
Yeah. It's so weird when that happens.
I know.
Yeah.
Because he says like he composed it himself or some shit like that, right?
Oh yeah, like he made it like as a remembrance for like sure. Yeah.
That's cool. So adds a bit to Prometheus as well if you like want to go back and rewatch that. Sorry, Jayden, what were you going to say?
Was I going to say something?
Great question. Yeah, we talked over each other when I went to start about the score.
I don't know. I could bullshit something. I think it's interesting. Like, David's constantly trying to kiss people, which is interesting because like
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he does do that.
Because like it's probably like that it's probably that fault in his programming that's kind of pushing him that bit further, because he's designed to, you know, replicate and be as much like human as he can, and that kind of fault in him that's developed is probably like pushing him that bit much that he's trying to establish real human connections and shit like that. And he's talking about love when, you know, like it's physically impossible, and like, you know, Walter says as much, that's impossible, you know. But David's kind of got this like disillusioned kind of idea that he can love, and like that kind of drive to being, you know, more human is interesting because he constantly comments on their weakness and about how they're imperfect. So like I quite like the you know, the hypocrisy that David embodies, you know.
Yeah, great point, David.
I just love additionally with just like other character, like I love the effects of the preacher and like having a man of faith there, and like I love like the fact that they're all couples is also plays interesting things. I mean, like that's kind of what excuses Danny McBride's behavior, because, you know, his wife is down there and he doesn't know if she's alive or not, and because they're all couples, it dictates how they act differently. You know, Daniels loses James Franco early on, so she doesn't really have much to hold on.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And you know, like the other two pilots up there with Danny McBride, they're married, so like they don't really have anything to worry about either. But like, you know, the ones down on the surface, they're constantly worried about their partner, and I like what that adds to the film.
Yeah, no, great point. That is definitely a point of difference. Yeah, no, dude, the more we talk about this, I'm just starting to really agree with you. Can you, like, I mean, I don't love these films, but like, yeah, it'd be a bummer if we don't get like a David continuation in some form, right? At least just one more. Yeah, I don't know. I totally forgot about James Franco. What a weird cameo. That was random.
It's interesting that there's so little of him, because like they filmed like quite a bit of him with the short films that they had, like you know, as like preludes to this. But yeah, it's I think like in the original script he did have like not the original script, but like the original treatment or whatever had more of that character. But yeah, then they just decided to get rid of him.
Well before they had any reason to. Oh man, that's weird. For trivia, what have I got? Yeah, I mean, this is a tidbit, I guess. I don't know. Scott stated that the subtext of this whole film, of this whole story, is the evolution of an AI who eventually will demonstrate a superiority to the human intellect, he says, adding that what follows is the AI creating a life, at which point we're really in trouble. So,
there's a good job.
Something to think about. Yeah, he does. That's right. I think he does a good point at emphasizing that we're in trouble. Everyone else is in trouble on that goddamn ship at the end. Yeah.
Haven't we discussed in the past about like Ridley Scott's like warnings about technology? Or was that someone else?
I don't know. So, but that is a recurring thing for him.
I mean, the Unabomber. Is that the Unabomber? Is that what you're talking about? No, don't worry.
I don't know.
Anyway, I was gonna say, compared to like Prometheus, I like the emotions are like the character issues in Prometheus was like Noomi Rapace. She was like sad because she couldn't give birth, and then the guy was really whiny because they didn't find the engineers, and then what's her name, Furiosa, she was like really whiny because her dad didn't love her and stuff like this. But in this one, like literally like their wives and husbands are dying, and they're not even like given that much, you know, their emotions aren't even given that much screen time. So I just like in this movie how it's like not like there's no like sentiment or anything compared to Prometheus, which was like all kind of that. It's like kind of the opposite in that way. And yeah, like I enjoyed it more for that. So yeah.
Very good. I agree.
Can we go back to the Unabomber or?
We'll see.
What the hell are you on about? Isn't that confusion?
Isn't that Willem Dafoe? Didn't he play like a Unabomber or some shit?
The Unabomber is a real guy who was like afraid of technology and like what it's doing to us. So he like tried to like, you know, kill something. Dude, like he was like he wrote like a whole manifesto. He was like a mathematical genius, and yeah, he like hates technology basically. That's the synopsis. That's the.
But who'd he bomb? Where'd he bomb?
I don't know what he actually did, but his whole thing is that he's like, wants to go back to monkey, doesn't like technology.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point, Unabomber. But if he's the Unabomber, so I feel like we're missing the most important part of what he bombed.
He did a 17-year bombing campaign that killed 3 people and wounded 23 in an attempt to bring about a revolution against the industrial system.
Oh, so he's not a suicide bomber. He just actually planted bombs.
Yeah, no, he's alive, I think. Is he alive?
Oh.
People
he's alive.
And shit. People idolize him because he stands against technology, industrial, society.
Sounds like a coward. He sounds like a terrorist, but I mean, I don't know much about it.
That's exactly what a terrorist is.
Sounds like he killed a bunch of people.
3.
Very much.
Oh my god. All right, let's get into our final verdicts for Alien Covenant. Jayden.
It's a 8. It's a really strong 8. Borderline 9, but just because of where the original stands, I can't kind of get that high. But yeah, it's a very strong 8 for me.
Yeah. I must say, if you were to give it the same score as the original, you would be a madman. I would have to call you out. We'd have to fight about that. Liam.
7 out of 10. It's this is very good. It is the second best. I agree.
Cool. Woo! I'll give it a 6. I liked it. It's pretty good. I've sort of just come to accept that I'm probably not going to like anything that much from this franchise, and that's fine. It's all good. It was pretty good. Bloody wow! That thought just went. Pseudo little wrap up of the franchise. Your pseudo little ranking. What do we put at the bottom? I mean, I know Jayden's answer. Oh my god. Alien Resurrection, no doubt, for Jayden. I have to put Alien 3 at the bottom. I really do.
Get fucked.
The theatrical cut.
Yeah.
My god.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, because, yeah. I thought that's another thing, because, had I watched the director's cut of Aliens 2, I think that would probably stay as my second favorite for this watch through. But just because I didn't, it's dropped so significantly.
Yeah. That's interesting. I think I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I think my overall takeaway from doing this is that Alien's great, like everyone says it is, so that's not surprising. But one of my main things is just that I was surprised how fine Aliens was. I don't understand the love for it. I think it's good. I think it's adequate, but I don't understand its high praise in pop culture and its place. I really don't. That was sort of my main learning experience, I think, from this. Overall, I would say.
I understand it. I just don't experience it.
Well, you at least understand it. That's good. Maybe it is one of those things where I just feel like it's so iconic and so influential that I feel like I've seen it 1,000 times. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, you kids in your Star Wars, you're spoiled for choice today,
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there are probably 5 Clone Wars episodes that are just aliens,
Yeah.
So maybe that's the problem. We got no news for you, so that's great. That's fine. Let's just keep rolling. We got highlights of the week. It's time for that. Who do we go to first? I've got nothing this week, so I'm happy to just take it all in, soak it all in, brother. So, Jayden, you can start if you like.
I guess, I haven't watched anything new, so I guess Obi-Wan is kind of where we have to chat,
Go for it. Go for it. I'm psyched.
It's the best live-action Star Wars TV series we've got. Better than
Really? You think so?
Definitely. Far better than Mandalorian as well.
Really? Wow.
This is Star Wars content I'll always be happy with. It's not without flaw. Part of it is just due to my own kind of expectations and ideas of where the series would go. And that's fine. I accept that. But then I also do think that there's quite a bit that, this is the Obi-Wan show, right? This is Obi-Wan. This is made for Star Wars fans, right? So with that in mind, I'd expect that I would have expected them to take a bit more care, I guess, with the way, and a bit more awareness in kind of storytelling, And I think the big thing I'd point to in that is, I'm going to go spoilers here, is that with the Grand Inquisitor getting stabbed in episode 2, like it's something that, you know, I just like talking about with Riley. Like, I never expected him to be dead, but it's just a poor storytelling beat because, you know, the people that this show is designed for know that he's not dead, right? You know, so like it's just things like that throughout that happen, you know, at points, and just at times the execution isn't the best, which is kind of unfortunate because this is the Obi-Wan show, you know, this is what everyone's wanting. So like that little bit of lacking in execution is kind of a bit disappointing, but like, you know, it's all in all, you know, it's a very strong show, you know, it's a strong 7 to a light 8, you know, it sits around the high mark. And, you know, I think it's interesting seeing like just the discussion that kind of has come out of it, and like the way that either extreme defends it is the way that either extreme criticizes it. But yeah, I mean, like,
welcome to Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just ignore that so hard these days, man. I couldn't care less.
I don't know, but it's funny because like, I love talking about it with you and just with anyone that's seen it, like that Freddie Prinze Jr. little excerpt where he like goes on about the Force, but like that applies to the show so directly because people that had complaints about like about Obi-Wan being, I mean, I'm going to go full into like big spoilers here for episode 6, so if you haven't seen episode 6 yet, you know, don't.
I assume you've seen it, Fitzy. I just didn't want to assume that you haven't confirmed to me. He's nodding.
He's nodding his
So
head. Yes,
audio listeners, because we know there's video watchers as well. Audio listeners, he is nodding.
Yeah. But like people complaining about how we're out of. It's funny because people had a look in the third episode that Obi-Wan was like weak and he couldn't do anything. He could hardly hold a lightsaber. But then these same people are then criticizing that final fight and saying that Obi-Wan shouldn't have been able to beat him. You know, how is this happening because he's so weak? But like it goes back to that thing about Freddie Prinze Jr. said, you know, the Force is all about balance. So Obi-Wan is strong enough because the Force dictates is strong enough to, you know, balance the Force at this moment, right? Like that's what it is, you know. Like it's never that he was weaker or stronger than Darth Vader, you know, because canonically, yeah, Darth Vader, yeah, prime Darth Vader, he's stronger. But that's not what it's about. It's about, you know, the Force needing to be balanced. And because Luke isn't ready to defeat Darth Vader yet, Obi-Wan needs to be, right? So the Force allows him to be that bit stronger, you know?
That's very good. Very thoughtful. I think you're right about that.
So yeah, but I don't know. I do like the show. I think there's a lot of weak points. I think Reva's, I mean, like Reva's such a... I think Reva can be saved in a Dave Filoni cartoon. Put a bit of her in like a later season of Bad Batch or something like that. She'll be fantastic. It just feels she just feels like very missed, and frankly, the acting isn't very good either. The line delivery is kind of shitty. But yeah, like for an Inquisitor, she's the worst depiction of an Inquisitor we've seen. Like Trilla in Fallen Order is fantastic, and you know the Inquisitors we get in Rebels also. But I still think I still like what she tries to do, but it's just once again, it's nothing new for Star Wars fans. You know, people are like, oh, it's great because she shows why the Sith need the rule of 2 because she's power hungry. But like that's what every Inquisitor shows us, you know, in all other media. So like it's once again, it's not something new, and like that's kind of where you kind of held back a bit. Not that everything has to be new all the time, but you know, once again, as a show that I felt was meant to be for, you know, the hardcore fans, the Obi-Wan show, you know. But yeah, I would never complain about getting Star Wars content like this. Is kind of like is where it goes.
Sure, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I don't know. Like I mean, in terms of those like criticisms that people had, that whole thing has like such who would win in a fight energy that I just can't with it. Like it's just such bullshit. I can't stand that sort of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Reva's going to pop up in more stuff for sure. So it's just like, yeah, I'm curious about that. What is that? What does that look like? You know? Animated for sure, yeah, I'd like, but that's a great point. I don't know. Fitzy, what are your thoughts on the finale, bro? Come on. I'm excited. I'm so excited for this. I'm excited for your thoughts.
My thoughts? It was alright. I don't know. It was alright. I mean, the River, the one half with River and Luke and Ellen wasn't good, but you know, everyone in Darth Vader's fight was okay, I guess. There was too many over the like aerial shots. It was too much like.
Some of the camera work was a bit.
Yeah, it was a bit dodgy. But, you know,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. What else do I have to say?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, the aerial shots, that's a good point. They didn't bother me, but I get that in terms of that it did really feel like they're on the volume and they've got like, I don't know, 20 square meters of like space to shoot. So they sort of have to do shit like that to make it feel more vibrant. I wonder if how impactful COVID was in that as well, if they were going to shoot that in a different way, because the concept art is not like that at all. So I just wonder if they were going to shoot somewhere else and something got in the way. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but I get that. It did feel a bit small in the way it's shot sometimes, but I thought it was well done enough for what they had, I thought.
I mean, yeah, I didn't like Leia. Like the Leia just stuck around. I thought she was going to be gone earlier in the season too, but
oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the other massive canon complaint that people have. You know, Leia knows who Obi-Wan is too much. You know.
Oh, I don't care about the canon complaint. I just like, I don't know. It's just like a child actor thing. Like she wasn't that great. Really. Like, yeah.
She was cute. I mean, I get that. I feel like that's a common thing. I mean, I don't dislike her as much as it sounds like you do, but I like her. But it does, yeah, I understand child actors. It's sometimes a bit of a barrier it's hard to overcome sometimes.
No, who was that? Was it like Werner Herzog that said never work with children or animals because you just can't do anything with them?
Oh my God, that's so mean.
Which, you know, it's been proven wrong in these days. You know, we get a bunch of like fantastic child performances, but like,
oh yeah,
yeah. You know, you can't really complain about
how mean that
children in Star Wars because, you know, it's like you look at the past of what's happened.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I mean, don't you think they addressed the whole Leia complaint quite well in that last scene? I thought they did.
What was it? Oh, you can't tell anyone about.
Yeah, you sort of had a chat with her about, you know, we'll keep this mission a secret. I thought that was enough. That was fine. So then now when you watch A New Hope, it's like you understand that it's sort of a formal guise that she's putting on.
Yeah.
You know, I think that I thought it was totally acceptable. I was totally fine with that.
Yeah, I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to talk about it either. But yeah.
She also, I said this in the video, but she also names her son Ben, which beforehand you're sort of like, why would she do that?
Yeah.
And now you're like, ah.
So like, Leia would have known Obi-Wan for like a longer time than what Luke did, right? I mean, I guess like Luke had the Force connection, I guess, like with him, like he could revisit his ghost, but like he knew him for like a few days, whereas Leia had like a few weeks,
a few more days.
Yeah,
I don't know how long it was. Yeah, probably. Yeah, nah, for sure, absolutely. But you feel free to move on now. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, I'll move on. My highlight was it's called Glengarry Glen Ross. It's a movie about real estate. It's about some sales people. It's just a great rage compilation, a great yelling compilation.
Oh my God!
Some of the best yellers of all time. You know, you got Al Pacino, got Alec Baldwin, you got Space Dog, you got Al Pacino calling Space Dog a cunt. You know, it's great.
Whoa!
Just amazing.
Ahead of his time.
Yeah. That's basically what it is. It's just like a lot of swearing the whole time, but it is also, it's like it kind of takes you by surprise as well. At the end with one of the characters, who's like, because it's such like a cutthroat, like ruthless. Everyone's like ruthless and everyone doesn't care. And then this one guy actually has like personal stakes invested in, like he has to actually like make money for his like daughter or whatever, and then that it really like surprises you in the end. But it's a fantastic yelling compilation, as I said. And yeah, Ed Harris is obviously just better than Sean Harris, as we've discussed.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Awesome. But yeah, I'd recommend it to anyone. It's just the best.
Awesome. Okay. Kind of quite a contrast to Obi-Wan, I must say, but
I was wondering how to bridge the gap. Yeah.
Yeah, you really struggled with that, but you went for it. It's good. Now it's time to hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, what is your favourite film with religion in it? What's the wording of the question? Hang on. What is a religious-oriented film you like? Very good. Luke said, I'm glad my attempt to reinvigorate this chat worked last night. I'm really happy about that. Luke said, Evan Almighty and Bruce Almighty because Morgan Freeman is God. Life of Brian is also very good. I've never seen any of this. Is Life of Brian... What is that? I've heard of that.
Life of Brian is a Monty Python film that kind of parodies the life of Jesus. There's this guy called Brian that was born at the same time, and people mistake him for Jesus.
Does he look like Jesus?
I mean, no one knows what Jesus looked like, but like, it's just... It's just
good point.
It's just the life of Brian, and like he's in shenanigans because people keep on thinking that he's Jesus, and he gets in trouble because of that.
That sounds pretty funny, actually. Okay, I appreciate. No, it's not. Oh, okay, all right. Well, Luke's taken definitely a comedy angle there. I appreciate that. Andy said, Johnny Toe's Running on Karma, which stars Andy Lau. Oh, of course. A mixture of somewhat a cop thriller, martial arts, and rom-com, but altogether is a deeply profound depiction of Buddhist spirituality in probably the most badass way possible. Andy Lau's ex-Buddhist monk character spends most of this film in a muscle body suit, looking just as thick as Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he tries to convince a young police officer chick that she was a Japanese Adolf Hitler in her past life. What the hell? What a pitch. Not one of my favourite Johnny Toe works, but a pretty solid religious-oriented film, which I totally recommend. Andy Lau is amazing, isn't he? He is. He was amazing on the show last week too. All right. God, that was one hell of a pitch, Andy, I must say. I've got to say that. I just have to see that to believe it, All right. What do we got here? Liam, favourite religious-oriented film, however you want to interpret that.
Well, I think Jayden gave it to me last week when he said The Truman Show. The Truman Show is my answer.
Oh, okay.
So my answer is The Truman Show. Yeah, I really like The Truman Show. It's really amazing. It's really good. It's one of my favorite movies.
Is it really?
Yeah, I love it, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What do I say? Well, I don't really know if I like it for like the religious aspects. I just think it's like an amazing like Jim Carrey movie. Like I think it's like just an amazing like performance and just incredibly like fun. Yeah, every time I watch it, it's just like this is fun. Yeah, it's nice. But like the religious themes are good. Like Christoph is like, Ed Harris is God because Ed Harris is God. So he's obviously better than Sean Harris because Ed Harris is God. Yeah, he's like, he's the creator, and Sean is like, not Sean, sorry. Truman is like, he's in it. He's like in a, his reality is not, real. So it's like life. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's very very symbolic and just
Yes.
It's very religious and symbolic and just deep.
I can really feel it coming from your just like you talk about it. I can really feel it coming through.
The passion.
No, but it is my favorite religious oriented film, I think.
Good.
Yeah, check it out if you haven't seen The Truman Show. It's really. Not many people know about Truman Show. It's one of those. It's one of those films.
It's one of those indie films. Yeah, That's right.
Who's the star? Is that who's this Ed Harris guy? Sounds like a promising up and comer.
Sean Harris's brother.
Sean Harris's brother. Oh, that's good.
He's really good.
Dude, what about Ed Harris in Top Gun Maverick? Am I right?
Oh yeah, Top Gun is in that. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
He's just in so many good movies. It's crazy.
I know. And television programs. Just one, really. Jayden.
So many, isn't there? As an avid consumer of sci-fi and horror, like these are two genres that religion is intrinsically synced with. You can't have a product of like that without religion, really. But like, to what is like actually like because it's orientated, I'll say like ones that actually like depend on religion like in a massive way. I guess silence is that. I guess.
Stop stealing my answer. I don't like it.
All right. Okay. I just because I had a feel. Forget that. I hate silence. Midnight Mass is fantastic, but that's a TV series.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. That's all good.
Neon.
I mean, you
Genesis
created the question.
Evangelion. Another TV series.
Oh no.
You know, I'll just say, yeah, I know. So many, isn't there? Oh god. You know, I'll say Akira. Yeah, you know, I'll say Akira for as, you know, while it's not as, you know, it's got themes of creationism and, you know, destruction and rebirth and stuff like that. But then, you know, just like the kind of what it poses is interesting. I think in a theological sense as well. It's not as strong of a connection as other sci-fi films, but it's definitely there. And for the sake of saving your answer, we'll say Akira.
Sure. So my answer is Steve McQueen's Hunger. And no, I mean, which one do I like better? Man, I don't know. They're pretty tight. Silence is awesome. I love Silence. I think it's great. I actually want to. It was one of those films that I watched it years ago, so I just feel like I need to sort of come back at it with a different sort of more critical eye and a different mindset to sort of even appreciate it more, maybe. But because, like, for example, I feel like it would be I'd get more out of it. I'd like it even more than I do now if it were like we did it for the podcast and we were to talk about it. Like, I feel like it's one of those things that I just like it more as a result. So, yeah, I mean, Hunger's awesome. God, I love Hunger. It's one of those movies where, like, I really liked it at the time for certain scenes and certain aspects, but I feel like it just ages so well in my memory that I definitely want to rewatch that at some point as well. So yeah, two good guesses, picks, whatever you want to say. I mean, there's also There Will Be Blood. Is that a bit easy? That's a bit easy. I feel like I can't ever choose like an answer of a film that's in my favorites.
It's about good films, not average films. You know.
Wow, that was good. That was well done. So yeah, all right. Well, those are some quality answers, some quality recos for all of you out there. You got different genres as well. So, you know, if you're into comedy, go for Luke's. If you got bad taste, go for Andy's. And if you like cool films, go for mine. And then that's great. So anyway, as always, we'd love you to submit your questions, thoughts, reviews for next week's film in the YouTube comment section. Send us a DM on Instagram or join the Discord server. Or as Jayden has pointed out in the past, maybe don't and just comment on YouTube so we can get our numbers back up there. Thanks. But, you know, whatever you like. Next week, the question we've got for you is, what is the most overrated Best Picture winner? Let us know in all those places. Fitzy, why are we asking that question?
Because we're doing Parasite. Zach's not going to be here, so we're finally going to do Parasite. We're going to sneak it in.
Yeah. That's good. And what's that on?
Stan. It's on Stan. And I think the black and white version might be on there too. Although I don't know why there was a black and white version. But
are either of you guys going to watch that version?
No.
Definitely not. I can't even imagine, dude. The colours is like some of the best part.
Yeah.
Of that movie.
Yeah.
It's really nice looking.
Maybe it's black and white to reflect how poor and derelict these lower class people living in South Korea.
Maybe it's black and white is like it gives like attention to the contrast in, you know, wealth disparity. Yeah. There's black and white, there's up and down, there's like the top of the hill, the bottom of the hill. Yeah. That's right. That's it for this week's episode. Thanks everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks Jayden and Liam for joining me as always. I hope was the volume okay for me here?
No,
it wasn't too distracting. Yeah?
No, you're good, yeah.
Okay.
As long as it wasn't distracting for your co-workers, we're all good.
Well, I've been getting a few glances the whole time, so I think once when I laughed, someone sort of gave me a death stare.
Isn't there blinds on the interior windows you can pull down?
No, there is not.
No, I thought there was. That's a shame.
No, isn't that illegal? No, it's not illegal to have blinds, is it? Because there's laws around. That's why there are interior windows. Because there's laws around, you're needing all separated rooms in office buildings need to have visibility into them.
Oh.
Mm.
It's a dark.
Right, have a great rest of your week, everyone, and goodbye.